Welcome back, guys. I'm in the city of Huai'an in Jiangsu province. It's an old city built on the Beijing-Hangzhou Grand Canal. It's actually where two sections of the canal meet, and it's the oldest part of the Grand Canal. It's been raining I've been here a couple of days already. It's just been pouring down for 2 days, so I've got a very brief break in the rain. So hopefully we can have a quick look around, see what we can find. As well as the Grand Canal, this city is also well known for producing a lot of famous people. So let's go and see what we can find. Let's go. Huai'an lies in Jiangsu province, north of Nanjing. Probably not the most visited place along the Grand Canal. It does, however, contain a few places of interest and a lovely pagoda to add to the list. Pagoda style and colour tends to get a bit fancy the further south you go in China, as you will see when I reach the cities of Suzhou and Hangzhou later in the journey. For those of you who are new to the channel, there is a link in the description below to the pagoda map, in which you can follow my psychotic mission to visit every ancient pagoda in China. Add another pagoda to the list. That's the Wentong Pagoda. I don't actually have an exact date for it. The sign there says it's Ming Dynasty. My big book says it's from the 1800s, which would make it Qing Dynasty. Either way, apparently there's been a pagoda here since a lot earlier than that, 600s, which has been, knocked down, rebuilt over the centuries. So this is the Zhenhuai building. It's actually the bell tower. It used to be part of the old Ming Dynasty foundations of the city. Some of the ruined walls are apparently still lying around the town in places as well. This is a centerpiece of the old town, and the structure is well worth a look. Actually, drum towers similar to this are relatively common in China, but they all have some unique charm that I cannot resist. Gotta do it. Nice. Okay, on to our first famous person from Huai'an, and that is the first premier of the People's Republic of China, the very famous Zhou Enlai. He was born here, and his old residence is still here. Let's go and have a look. Zhou Enlai lived here during his childhood. One of the great revolutionaries of modern Chinese history, Zhou was instrumental in the rise of China's Communist Party. And following the Communist Civil War victory in 1949, he was appointed as premier, serving under Chairman Mao Zedong, a position he would hold for 26 years until his death in 1976. Although this channel tends to focus more on ancient rather than modern history, this courtyard home is a beautifully preserved place and something of a place of pilgrimage. Zhou Enlai is a much loved figure in China, as he played a key role in the beginnings of the People's Republic of China, attending the Geneva Conference and developing foreign policy which would transform the position of the country on the world stage. It's a really nice place to visit. So there's also a memorial hall here for the very famous general Han Xin, who served under Liu Bang, who became the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. He was also from here and basically helped Liu Bang win the Chu-Han contention at the end of the Qin Dynasty and start the very famous 400-year-long Han Dynasty. He later did fall out of favour, however, and was pushed back to the side a little bit because of his growing power. Very interesting character. And guess whose former residence this is? So this is the hall and former residence of the author Wu Chang'an, who wrote the very famous book, The Journey to the West, which is one of the 4 classic novels of China. Is this Zhou Enlai and the Monkey King? Kind of cool. I hope it is. Looks like Zhou Enlai, right? It would make sense. It's his hometown. So the 4 great classical novels of China are The Journey to the West, The Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and The Dream of the Red Chamber, or The Dreamers of the Red Mansion. and also the water margin. And they're all unbelievably well-known stories throughout China. To be honest, probably none more so than Journey to the West. Such a popular story. Some of the old opera costumes are really cool. Pigsy there.
Born during the Ming Dynasty in the early 1500s, Wu Chang'en is a name known throughout China. His old home is a very nice place to wander around for an hour or so, and despite the drizzly weather, I had a great time. The halls here contain some real history, and the gardens are beautifully kept. The novel, The Journey to the West, is an epic work, reworked into more movies, TV shows, cartoons, and comic books than you can possibly imagine. The adventures of the Monkey King are deeply ingrained in East Asian culture. Combining elements of fantasy, traditional Chinese folk religion, Taoism, Confucianism, Buddhism, and basically anything else in any way connected to China, this novel remains as popular as ever, even almost 500 years after it was first published.
Gardens are actually quite nice. Starting to rain, guys. It was always going to happen. Let's see how much we can get done. So the story is famous, really famous all over East Asia. But I remember, and anyone from England of my generation will remember, as a kid, there was a TV show called Monkey. It was actually a Japanese adaptation of this story. And it was on TV and it was just so wild, you know. I love that show. And that was the story of the Journey to the West. So the story follows the journey of a monk called Sanzang, who is travelling west to India to retrieve Buddhist scriptures sent under the orders of the Buddha. And on the journey is accompanied by 3 unusual characters. That is the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, Pigsy, and Sandy. And obviously over their journey they get into all sorts of shenanigans. Now the story is actually based very loosely, of course, on a real story, and that was the story of the monk Xuanzang, who did leave China and travel to India and brought back loads of Buddhist scriptures which were later translated into Chinese. Big connection with the city where I live in Huai'an, because obviously that was where the monk set out from. And the big Wild Goose Pagoda, which is a very famous place in the city of Xi'an, I've got a video of it, I'll link it there, was where the pagoda was built to house the things that Xuanzang brought back from India. However, as far as I'm aware, there was no Monkey King accompaniment.
And then the rain returned, which put a premature end to my visit to Huai'an. Next time, however, we will be in the wonderful city of Yangzhou, so see you then.